Hi fire signs, welcome back for your mid-month reading. We're going to tune into your love domain. Now, if you're wanting a booking, you can go to the link directly below. For those of you who are new, welcome. Now, I've had to do this video 3 times for you guys, so maybe you're doing it 3 over 3 times with a particular energy or your mindset with this person. Now, it can be someone you're actually already in a relationship with, or a person you're directly tuning into at this point during watching the video. Now, for some of you, it feels like a past tense frequency of a person that you've dealt with. Now, when it comes to this, it can be you're in reflective mode, and I'm hoping it's not going to glare because I've got the computer on for a bit of backlight. I need to get a light. Now, look at the way every time I look at a card, something pops out. Now, it's like you're looking down, but light is being shone on how you directly feel about this person, how you're seeing the whole perspective of the situation. Now, the card breaks down to a 3, and that means you're using all your tools, you're being very practical, very rational, you're looking at it from a very different perspective with how you personally feel. You're also looking at where you have some power in a situation, or perhaps where you did. And it feels like you've been going in circles. Now, this might be in your mind or how you felt about them. And it feels grounded emotions. Now, her energy in the card feels very grounded. More of a reflective nature. So this is past tense frequency of what's happening, and it may be an offers on the table. Now, in meditation, I feel you are really blossoming into who you need to be and what you want to be. So it does feel like you feel sort of vulnerable in it, but it does feel as though you've undergone a transformation. Now, for you guys, this does feel it's connected to a person who's currently not in your life at this time, who is a spiritual connection. And it might be that for some of you, you do have a T in the road. So it can be that this person's not in your life, or you're feeling, are they, aren't they? There's some aspect of confusion. And I think that some of it, when you were hurt, for those of you who this is relevant, because this can be a secondary message, you might have come to a place where you were questioning if this person was who you thought they were, not just by their actions, but it could be a 3D notion of you feeling they're your soulmate or twin flame, for instance. And you've looked at it and you felt, due to what had transpired, there's no way that could be so. Now, the feeling I'm getting is you're going to gain the clarity on it. Your intuition's going to tell you, and I feel you'll realise it was something has happened that's separate to what they are, okay? So try to not get the two confused. It's almost like we want to look at it and go, yeah, your intuition's going to tell you. You will know completely. A lot of what has been going on with you is that you have been undergoing this mass transformation. Now, you're really coming into the duality of yourself, and you're harnessing this frequency. You're really having to use your intuition every step of the way connected to this romance, as well as it is part of your path, which is relevant, which to me is saying that, yes, they are. They may not be with you, and it might not have been that they were showing that aspect of a picture of being such, but it's to me looking as though it is. They're just currently not with you. And even with your emotions equaling to a 3, right? Again, equaling to a 3. Something's happened. Now, okay, a card fell out while I was shuffling previously. I've left it out accidentally. I'll read it to you in a minute. In a way, you were feeling as though it was going to happen or come about in a particular way. And you're looking at it, and it is aspects of disappointment, but it's almost like this situation has helped you evolve and look at something in a very different perspective. So initially, especially with this person, it was feeling as though it was one way, but then it turned 360, and now it's like you're back at the table looking at it and realizing, well, yeah, okay, there is a connection. There was a connection, however it be. It didn't quite turn out the way you thought. So it's like, well, what do you manifest from here? The inspiration is going to come from a spark, and I do feel it's going to be heart chakra. It's like a rude awakening. So whatever's happened has really taken you by surprise. And I do feel this very muted energy, this very, I really didn't see that coming. And it might have been your own decision making. For some of you, you might have decided to leave. This could be you physically leave a person. For others of you, it happened to you, but now you're like, I don't even know if I will entertain this. So it feels like a very meditated state you're physically in at this point. It's very much left or right. I really need to think about this. What do I manifest? What do I want from here? Now, this person, I feel, is also having regret connected to this. And although you're thinking in it, I really wanted this to come about a certain way, their energy is the same, where they're physically having a return to reality and going, wow, what has just transpired? Now, they're trying to keep very grounded. They're trying to get to the point where they're not losing their temper with what is happening in their 3D life. And it can be some trigger points with them, especially when it comes to how still and quiet your frequency is. It may be that you're physically not talking to them, and they're also remembering back to how you used to be, that you're not like that anymore, and they're not quite knowing how to communicate with you. Now, when it comes to this connection and the question, it was like they weren't keeping up with you, and that's where the confusion has come from. They were feeling that they couldn't keep up with your transformation. They were behind you, spiritually, they felt. And look, it doesn't have to be that they're spiritual, but it feels as like at an emotional 3D level, they felt that you were evolving and looking at the road a lot quicker than what they could quickly evolve, because, you know, it's in reverse. So they felt they were under the pump and they just couldn't keep up. It was like, oh, this is moving real quick. A snail is quick, okay? So what your perspective, I heard it, what your perspective is of quick and what their emotional security sense is, the 3D of what I'm seeing and intuitively feeling is no, like they felt overwhelmed. And it wasn't to do with you. It was their expectations towards themselves of how they were feeling. They were getting frustrated. Now they're remembering back to a conversation they had with you, and this energy that's coming through for this group of you, obviously I can't connect with every single one of you. Please do look at your rising sign if this does not directly connect this month. They're trying to feel into some advice that they've given you previously, and it may be that they're realizing they've got to lead by example. They're having to learn how to trust their intuition more so, and get to a point where they go inside themselves and go, whoa, what just happened there? Why did that happen? Why did you allow that to happen? That's what I'm hearing. They're very cross. I don't know why they're so cross. I feel this is very separate to you, although I do feel cross that, how do I put it? I'm going to tune into it a bit further. There's an additional message coming through, and it's almost like the frequency is very cross at me. They want me to relay it. Now, with this, they're trying to hold their temper. The pathway or the road that you wanted to go on, I do feel they understand the connection, but they were cross. Maybe that you moved on, or that you didn't wait for them. As well as I do feel like whatever was happening, it was like they're cross about it. But they're trying to hold their cool because they realise that it was part of the program. Does that make sense? But it feels like a role reverse. It was quite strange when I'm tuning into it, because it's almost like Why are you cross? It feels like a role reversal, an irrational crossness, that really it should have come from you, not them. But it's kind of coming vice versa, and it kind of feels strange. Don't be surprised if they're picking up on your frequency and they're feeling emotions that you should hold and you're feeling emotions they're currently holding. It feels like a swap of emotions. And this could be mid-month, how they're feeling. Okay, what are your energies? Okay. Okay, you're coming in, and again, your frequency does really feel very grounded. You're coming in very observant. It's like you're coming out of hermit mode, but again, I do feel you to be quite silent. Now, this really isn't like your frequency, but it's like you've had an epiphany moment, and you're looking at something and you're going, I'm looking at this situation very differently. Now, they're feeling as though they've been juggling. Now, this can be in their life, it can be bills, it could have been a third person, you know, involvement in the situation. You've got to be joking. This has been happening all day. Maybe this is what's happening in your life. Now, when it comes to it, I feel they were trying to handle too many things. There were too many things in the air. Now, for you, you're stepping back, and I do feel in their 3D life at this point in time, they're trying to manage their workload, their emotions, their 3D life, but their mind is directly on you. And with you, you're feeling quite grounded, and because of this, it's like a frequency change. They're picking up on it, and it's actually triggering them. Now, you've had to get very grounded because of what transpired. You've had to look at your life in a very different way. You've had to be very practical. And really look at how you're going to get your life to where you want it to be. So you've had the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's nothing, how do I put it? I wouldn't want to say it's nothing you're not used to, but I feel life has handed you many interesting turns. To a point, it's really formed you to be an incredibly strong person. This person, however, their frequency has been very different to yours. So the way they handle it, it's like when the going gets tough, it seems as though they need to retreat, and the way they handle their trigger points is very different to the way you handle them. Your trigger points is, okay, Houston, we have a problem. I need to dig in and I need to deal with my life. Theirs is very much, okay, I need to retreat. This is overwhelming. Wow, I just got to do this. I've got to do something to get my mind off it. So the differences between you is you guys are yin and yang. You do balance each other, but sometimes we need to utilize the opposite side. So sometimes maybe the advice for you this month is to take a leaf out of their book and do something special for yourself to keep yourself grounded by mid-month, especially if you're moving through this frequency. But I do really feel it's either you're in shock, a lot of the past is coming back, but it feels a different frequency. It actually feels like a shock factor, that you're sort of in two minds and you're like, did that just happen? That's what I'm hearing. When it comes down to it, it is due to the fact that there's regret here, but it's like I said, you're having a swap of energy. It does feel it's swapping. So whatever happened, the roles are reversing. Okay. You're very focused on your finances, and if anything, it might be that you're actually working too hard. And whatever they're directly dealing with, it feels like they might be losing a job or moving away from something or having to tie up loose ends and severing contracts. This could be connected to another person as well. They're very jealous about what's going on with you because you've really handled your life with poise. And although on the outside you have this very grounded demeanor, this person has sort of like a feeling of being very, you know, oh, I'm very concerned, I've lost a lot. And I'm hearing you, when it comes down to it, they've had losses in their life, But the one thing that kept them going, I'm hearing, is you, and this directly affects them. I do feel it was connected to a third-party situation for some of you, or an indecision about what way to go. Now, this could be current energy of what you're feeling. Gosh, you know, I have a love proposal. Now, this doesn't have to be cheating. This can currently be in your current predicament. You are going to have an opportunity, but it may cause some complications. If they're tying up loose ends with a connection, try and step back for that to transpire. If it's physically that, how do I put it? This did transpire, you're in two minds about it. You're undecided about what to do. There's a third energy that's coming through. I've got to think on it now. Where, you know, are you married to your job? Look at your 3D life and see where things are out of balance, because I'm being told balance. Balance is the key. Where was there not balance before? How can you incorporate balance back into it on both sides? Definitely don't get to a point where you take over their aspects of accountability. But I do feel, I'll pull 3 more cards, but I am feeling as though there's going to be an aspect of meditation and or communication. Okay, number 1, although you're meditating, you can't go back to yesterday. So you can meditate upon it, but you can't change it. So try and be gentle on yourself. And, you know, the conversation can happen, but ultimately, if you're going to go too far back into it, it's not going to change anything anyway. You're really going to have clarity this month in relation to what way to go. So it might be that you feel too much water is under the bridge, but for some of you, it can be that you're going to set your course mentally, regardless of communication, and set your intentions of where you want to go. I feel there will be a delay in the change of plans, because I feel as though you're going to gauge and steer this. Okay, so there is going to be a change of plans, but I'm feeling as though you're going to pause and meditate on what to do from here. Now, if you are wanting a booking, you can go to the link below. Otherwise, I wish you luck this month, and I'll talk to you later.